Your beauty so exotic, you are the reason why Neanderthals chiseled upon cave walls. Pass, Samp! Sure. Alright, I'm kind of excited. I get to do a little time-lapse artwork for you guys. My hand's working again. I'm doing a Etsy 3D rendition of a female Astartes. Now, the whole point of these little models, this was before that whole thing where they made the female custodies and it blew up and became a controversy. They're actually making these little figurines, and they were just some artist's version of what he thought a 3D a female Astartes would look like. And I thought they looked cool, so I bought a bunch of them. You know what they remind me of? Sisters of Battle. It's the same thing, essentially. I mean, I don't know what how I'm gonna paint this one, but I've got a few of these that I'm gonna put together, and I just think they look really neat. But I used the model as a reference for the drawing, and then at the end of the video, I'm just doing some sketches, kind of show you guys the process of like how I start. You know, we do when we're doing artwork, illustrating, especially when you're trying to do speed drawing, like if you're on a timeline and you're trying to crank drawings out, you do warm-ups just like you're gonna work out, and I show some of that stuff at the end. I'm gonna start a little comic skit. I'm gonna try to do Warhammer anime style, so I'm practicing some of that stuff. I haven't shown you guys that yet. Now that my hand's better and now that I can draw again, I'm still having some issues. I still can't quite, when I try to make a fist, see what it does. Like this one, if I squeeze my hand as hard as I can hold it straight. And this one, it kind of curls. I can't quite straighten it out. The grip's strong, so I can hold deadlifting, no problem there. But if I'm trying to like if I'm trying to pick a cup up, it's still really weird trying to bring it to my. Ooh, I almost dropped it there. There we go. Kind of having a hard time holding. But it's getting better. Bottom line, it's getting better. What a weird week, man. You know, I was holding off on making this video because I was having a really bad day, and there's one thing I've learned is never ever make a video when I'm in a bad mood, because I start talking about stuff I'm not supposed to talk about. But it's been a wild week, man. We had 2 incidents at work that were almost identical, one after another. And the first one was bad enough, and just when we got that all lined out and settled, the second one happened. So now that we're under a microscope, and everybody's like, "What's going on with you guys?" So I got that going on. And then my wife, her injuries, she's had a really bad couple of weeks. So it's been kind of rough on the home front, and I've been a one-man army, and I get a little bit overwhelmed, anxiety. I'm one of those guys. I get anxious, depressive. But if we focus on all the good stuff that's going on, there's a ton of it. My daughter is she was tonight at 5:30. She was supposed to have her first sparring with another girl. The gym's asked to represent her, so she's going to get licensed. A 9-year-old is going to get licensed by the state of Nevada, and she's going to train to go to fight. And she's super excited about it. He had to reschedule that, so unfortunately I wasn't able to get video of that. He did say I should be able to get some footage of that when that goes down, so that's really cool. Now there's a lot of good stuff that's going on, but I'm feeling a touch overwhelmed. I've been I don't know. I'm not sleeping well. I'm not training right. I got to start getting on it for this competition that's coming up. So I got my IPL World shirt on. I'm trying to get in the mode, so we're gonna start doing. I'm actually thinking about doing that Candido 6-week again, because that's about the right amount of time that I'll need, and all my numbers are good, so I haven't really lost too much strength, so I don't think it's gonna take much for me to get where I need to be. The beauty of it is now that I've turned 50, I'm in a whole new classification of records. I looked at the weight classes: 198, 220, 242. I could right now take all 3 of those weight classes. So if I gain some weight and go into the weight class above, records. If I stay at 220, records. If I go down to 198, Those will be tough to beat, but I can do it, and those will be, I could get the national records for that weight class. I could probably do it for 222. I'm real close to both of them. How cool would that be? Man, what a send-off would that be for the age of 50 to get the national records? Even if I only had them for a week. If somebody came the next month and beat them, I would still have that plaque that said national records belong to Charles Widener. I have them, 2016, I had the natural for, I think, the 220 weight class. I had the national records for the tested division, and I have that plaque, and the numbers weren't that impressive. I want to say it was like a 1,400 pound total, but whether they were impressive or not, I was the #1 guy for about 6 months. And I keep that plaque up there because it says national records on it. And, you know, like, even though someone came and beat me and buried me, and I'll never catch that guy. Well, like, not natural anymore, so that ship sailed. You know what? I would love to talk to that lifter, the one that beat me. I would love to see if he's still natural, because he's my age. So it'd be interesting to see if he still get natty, or if he went to the dark side. I haven't talked to, it's interesting, there's 2 different crowds in our federation, and one of them, they are just the sanctimonious, uptight. You go to these meets, it's like the Olympics. Quiet, please. Quiet. Shh. He's about to perform his lift. Silence. Cloud silence. No clapping. Hold your applause to the end. And then you go over to the untested. It's all slapping each other, fucking punching each other in the face, sniffing. Heavy metal, yeah. Which type of person are you? I don't know. I just think that the untested guys, they're just more fun. You know, it's like, they're like, life's short, have a party. Now, the last time I did one of these videos, artwork, I did a rendition of a female Astartes, and it was like a hybrid between one of those Overwatch characters and a Sisters of Battle. It's basically a woman in a jetpack with minimal armor, we'll say. And the #1 request I got was for bigger accoutrements. So I enlarged her weapons a little bit. Let me know what you guys think, and if you guys have any requests, hit me up. Now that I'm drawing again, I'm gonna start cranking these out, and I could use a little bit of help with creativity, but I got a lot of comments, not a lot, but more than a few, about I guess people, they just saw the title of the video and they didn't actually watch, and they didn't know that I was kidding, like this is a joke. And they're like, how dare you with the female kiss stories? And okay, just watch the video at least, you know what I mean? But they thought I was trying to, that I was one of those guys that was trying to insert that into the lore and change everything. And they thought it was the opposition. I thought that was pretty funny. But I am going to continue to keep doing my version of what I think would be cool if they were going to allow that kind of thing. Unfortunately, I don't think what I think would be cool is what they're going to go for, because I've seen what Western media is doing to women, and like in Star Wars video games and pretty much any video game, and they are not making them more attractive. So I don't think my creativity would be too appreciated. We'll see. I'm throwing it out there and trying to reel it in, so we'll see what kind of comments I get. Man, it is still 109 degrees, and I'm sweating my balls off. So, I figured I would respond to a few comments. Mama Mamona, friend of the channel, says, Ayo, I've always wanted to try out art, but I suck at it, LOL. I can't get my people looking 3D, but I've tried a few times. I started meditation because a friend said it was good. I like it. It almost resets my mind and allows me to refocus. I'm tired, man. I don't know how to describe my tiredness, though. I just want warmth. I mainly don't want insane DEI for the next 4 years, so just make everyone equal and have equal opportunity. That's all that should be done. I don't think abortion is a good thing, but I think it should be legal for now. It's killing a person/animal, if not a person, but someone shouldn't be forced to give birth if they really don't want to. In what I imagine to be an ideal world, there would be no abortion because there would be no reason for abortion. I keep thinking about my friend. I think I'm gonna thank him like a genuine thank you. He deserves it. I think too much. That's what meditation helps with. You recently lost a friend. I know we talked about that. Abortion, that's not something, I don't know. That is a complex issue. And the problem with the abortion argument, in my opinion, is that it's often reduced to its binary, black and white, evil, good, yes, no, no exceptions. I'm personally, morally against abortion. But that does not mean I think that the government has any right to say what a woman can do with their body. Absolutely not. And here's the thing: is you can be against something, and I don't know. It's okay. Freedom of speech. Let's just say your local neighborhood Nazi gets on Facebook and starts spouting rhetoric. Should he be silenced, ostracized, censored? In my opinion, no. I think he should be able to speak as hatefully as he wants. I think that it's absolutely legal and we should tolerate it. Not only should we tolerate it, we should fight for his right to do it. Why? Well, because where do you draw the line where you say like speech should be regulated or freedoms should be curtailed? Where is that line drawn? And more importantly, who's drawing the lines? Who's the ones that are dictating what you can and can't say? And who's to say that the things that you think you should be allowed to say won't be the speech that is not popular in 10 years? Look, you can just go back to the 90s, like the way we used to talk to each other. We used to call each other pejoratives and racial slurs and epithets, and now you get canceled for all that stuff. And back in the day, it was just guys talking shit to each other. That stuff doesn't go anymore. So you could go back in time and find almost any male who grew up in the 80s and 90s, and if you got him on film, you probably will find him saying something that would get him canceled today. Was it a crime back then? No, it wasn't even an issue back then. It wasn't even problematic. That's just the way everybody talked. But now, we're retroactively trying to cancel people. I think it happened to Joe Rogan. They dug up some stuff that he said that was questionable in the past, and they were trying to get him canceled for it. You know, that was things that were normal back then aren't normal now, and I don't think that, you know, you can't do that. How does that relate to abortion? Well, again, like the whole idea is like if the Nazi is speaking his evil, hateful rhetoric and we're fighting for his right to do so, does that mean we're tolerating his speech? No. You get online, you start talking crap back to him, and you tell him what a moron he is. And then everybody dogpiles him, and his idea gets squashed and it goes away. Poof. It gets exposed the way it should be, and then it gets, you know, we belittle it, we ridicule it, and it goes away. That's how ideas should be, you know, that's how we should parse stuff out in a free society. You know, bad ideas get exposed, good ideas, and in the middle there, we kind of come to some kind of consensus, and we have balance. Ideally, well, okay, how does that relate to abortion? I could be, like, I'm against the Nazi, but I'm fighting for his right to be one, because it's his right to be one, okay? It's not illegal to be a jackass. Well, I'm morally against abortion. I don't think it should be used for birth control, but I understand that there are exceptions. But I'm also against the government telling us what we can and can't do with our bodies. So I would fight, even though I'm morally against abortion, I will fight for a woman's right to have one. It definitely, yeah, I don't even like those words. That's how against it I am. But I would stand by my principles and say, government, you can't tell this woman what she can and can't do with her body. But see, that's where it's binary, the black and white. It gets reduced to it's either all good or all bad. Like, what if there's medical circumstances? What if it's trauma from like rape or incest? What if the mother's going to die if they have the kid? Like, that's, hey, maybe morally you would save the child and the mom had her chance. I mean, that's how it was back in the day. Who am I to say? You know, that's absolutely like nothing I'm competent or qualified to make a judgment on. Therefore, I have no place making a judgment on it. But this is conversations, like if you're going to have the discussion, you should discuss all of the nuances. You should discuss all of the outlier cases. The other thing that we tend to do is we tend to make judgments on the outlier cases. a lot of the arguments that I hear from the left is abortion should be legal because of rape and incest. Well, what are the percentages of those? Less than a fraction of a percent of total abortions are from rape and incest. So would you use the outliers to make the rule, knowing that most of it is just birth control for people that don't want to be moms, that are irresponsible or don't like, whatever the reason is? Most of it is this immoral, bad murder, and then this is what's used to justify that. Like, no. So both sides, you got to kind of bring it into the middle and have an adult discussion. That being said, it's one of those things that it's very polarizing, and people are going to have strong opinions on it regardless of what your beliefs are, and I respect that. I do. I've made my stance. I said I'm morally against it. If it happens in my family, I'm going to try to talk them out of it, and I'm going to use my powers of persuasion to do so. And hopefully that's something I can do. I'm going to try to offer alternatives. And we talk about these single mothers, so a lot of them are unfit to be moms. What kind of life is a child going to have? No, you can't tell the future of a kid. Like, you can't reduce children to statistics. You can't say, well, whatever percent of winds up at wards of the state and they'll have an awful life. Like, you don't know. 1 in 1,000 could have an amazing life and be a huge contributor to society. And who are we to say which life that is going to be? You just don't know. I just firmly believe that if life was given, life should be given a chance, period. Now, the question is where does life begin? And, we can have this secular argument all day long, and it goes back and forth, and it does go back and forth, and it does happen all day long. I would just say stick by your principles and fight for what's right. If you are acting in good faith and you are trying to do what you believe to be the right thing to do, chances are you're going to do the right thing. It's really that simple. Now, Mama, for the next part of your comment, we're talking about whether or not we're good at art and meditation. Well, not everybody's going to be an illustrator. Not everybody, I'm a really good illustrator, but I'm much better with, say, pencils than I am with pens. I'm much better with pens than I am with pastels. I'm okay with an airbrush. There's some mediums that I'm really inexperienced with, so but I really have an aptitude for the visual arts, and I pick it up really fast. Art is meditation. Not everybody's going to be an artist, but this is what I believe art really is. Art is that thing that you love and you put your passion into. Now, it can be the expression of ink on paper, or it could be a digital stylus on a computer, or it could be, whatever, the airbrush. It could be a rattle can and a bridge embankment. Hey, man, I've seen some really, really awesome tag art. Those guys are good, I'm telling you. But it could also be something that is not related. It could be, the craftsmen that make freestanders, these $300,000 staircases in these homes that don't have any support structure, and it takes an artisan to create. It could be, you see these master craftsmen, and they throughout all the trades in construction. It could be, a surgeon who's, honed his craft and can perform a bicep reattachment in an hour and have you back to work in a week. It could be anything that you put passion and love into. It's the power lifter who's going for the state records. It's the boxer that's doing 2-a-days and, is training to fight. And, everybody wonders, why is this guy killing himself? Whatever it is, it's all art. And it's just art's a form of meditation. Now, meditation to me is anything that keeps you front and center. You can't think about anything else because you're focused on that. All of life's problems go away when you're trying to squat 600 pounds. You can't even hear the crowd cheering. You're gone. Everything's gone, and you are focused 100% on that weight. And as you raise the weight and you're coming out of the hole and you're getting ready to racket, then you can start hearing everybody around you, and it's like then the crowd comes to life, and it's like, whoa, where'd you all come from? You know what I mean? Like it's mindfulness. It's so meditation itself is the practice of mindfulness. So really, all you're trying to do is quiet yourself and shut those demons up. So you and I have a lot in common. We tend to be very apprehensive people. We're, the depressives that are super anxious. We're always constantly thinking about life's problems and what we need to do about it. We're worried, and then that worry turns into depression because we feel like we can't do anything. We don't know where to get started, and we just wish somebody would help us. And we go back and forth between this mania and this depression, and meditation is a way to quiet that and center yourself and focus yourself. And meditation is great. But meditation alone, unfortunately, will not solve our problems. Now, what do doctors want to do? They want to drug us. They chemically castrate or give you a frontal lobotomy so that you're constantly just drooling and, ain't life grand? No, we got to tackle all those problems that are causing the anxiety. For me, I've found prayer to be really useful, like turning myself to the Bible. I'm finding a lot of meaning there, and I'm very much new to that, and it's a new thing in my life, and I still have lots of questions. I haven't bought it hook, line, and sinker, but I'm finding it to be immensely useful. And oddly enough, every time I've turned to the Bible, I've found that it's always right. It is. I have yet to find a wrong answer, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like, now who am I trying to convince, I don't know. I do still have some questions. I do. And we could get into that. If you guys want to do an episode on religion, I'd be more than happy to. Now, I have studied theology. I've studied mythology, but I would hardly say I'm religious, and I'm new to faith, or renewed to faith, rather. So it wouldn't be from an area of expertise, but it's definitely something that I enjoy talking about. And I think when we do discuss these things and parse them out, it makes our beliefs stronger, or it helps to refine them, if that makes sense. But again, what were we talking about? So meditation's great. Finding something you can love, that you can put all of your passion into, is great. Learning to master something is great. All that's helpful. But if we don't get to the root cause, we never get better. And the root cause is, generally speaking, our inabilities to manage life. Now, it could be as simple as like you have a fear of debt collectors or bills, and answering that phone, you hear it ringing, you see it's the financial institution, and you want to pick it up, but you're just like, oh, I'll talk to them tomorrow. And they just keep calling, and they just keep calling. Or maybe it has something work related. You have that one guy that you just can't deal with, and you want to confront him, but there's just this fear of confrontation, whether it's a fear of losing your job or whatever it is. There's an anxiety around that. Walking through that fear can be difficult. And often we do struggle with confronting others. So that's usually a huge one for people. It could be family. It could be a whole ton of things. And for a lot of us, it's all of the above. All of the above is problems. And, we have awesome significant others that pick up the slack for us. But in times like this, when our significant others are the ones that need us because they're injured, we just fall apart. And it's like, all we have is that one thing. All I have is weightlifting. All I have is my artwork. And I'm constantly throwing myself at this stuff, and I'm killing myself, but I'm not getting anywhere because I'm not addressing any of the other stuff that's causing the problems. So what I've found to be immensely helpful is to list out all the things that are making me anxious and making me depressed and making me feel bad, and just kind of pick the low-hanging fruit, the easy targets, like Dr. Jordan Peterson says, and I know I refer to him a lot, but clean your room. It could be something as simple as your room's a frickin' mess and it's making you depressed. Do the laundry, the dishes. The dishes have been piled up in the sink, and you don't even know where to start because like every dish you own is piled in that sink, and they all need to be scrubbed. The dishwasher's full. You don't have anyone to help. And it's not that you can't do it, but it's such a daunting task that you keep putting it off till tomorrow. Meanwhile, you keep eating and you keep adding to the pile. Stuff like that. The grass keeps growing. The pool needs to be cleaned. The dog poop needs to be picked up. And it's all stuff you keep saying, I'll do it tomorrow, but right now I'm just going to watch YouTube videos. And then it gets a little bit more. The dog keeps shitting. Compound interest. That's what dog poop is. So I find, picking one or two things, low-hanging fruit, clean a dog poop. Okay, I knock one of the two of those things off that list, and all of a sudden, I feel pretty good about myself. I feel like I accomplished. Man, I called the bank and talked to them. I feel like really accomplished. Like, wow, I did it. Oh, and then they call the next day, and you're right back at square one. No, pick the phone up, talk to them. Just knock one or two small things off that list. And hopefully those one or two things, if you can manage to keep up on it, will turn into 3 or 4 things. Just like learning how to do pull-ups. If all you can do is one pull-up, do 10 sets of 1. Do that for a few weeks and then try to make it 11. You know what I mean? That's something has to increase, either reps or volume, but eventually we get stronger, whether that's physically, psychologically, or emotionally. But, man, I tell you what, this is where we need people, because a lot of us don't have awesome people in our lives to berate us and bash us over the head and say, you need to do this. Oh, yes, dear. Thank you. If you don't have that, it's easy to get down and say, oh, man, that guy's got it so good. And you know what? I'm immensely blessed. But if you don't have that, that's where you got to reach out. And like you are, talking to me in the comments, and I'm talking back to you, and I'm sharing my insight on the same issue. And that's where we have an opportunity to help each other, which is, I think, immensely beneficial. It's one of the upsides to social media. It's where on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, where the toxic, trolls and crap comments and belittling and fights and arguing and just, there's some real good that can be done just by simply being that word of encouragement, and it's the vomitorium of ideas, Yeah, that's what we're here for, baby. It ain't just to get stronger physically. All right. Hopefully this helps somebody. Maybe someone found a little word of encouragement or something, a little spark to get that thing going. I will say, without my smoke cooler and my AC on, it gets really hot in this garage really fast, so I'm going to cut this one short. I hope you enjoyed my rendition of my female Astartes, and I am taking requests. I think maybe I'll try to make some t-shirts. How cool would that be? I'm going to draw some custom stuff up. I'm not big into I've got some merchandise for sale, but I'll do custom artwork. I mean, that could be, I don't know, you guys tell me. Let me know. Not like I don't have time to draw. All I got to do is send it to a print shop, and they'll make t-shirts up. We've done it before. And if it's something I created, I think that might be kind of cool. I don't even know if I really want to even sell them. Maybe I'll give them away. I don't know. But talk to me. Yeah, let me know what you guys want, and I'll see what I can do. Next video, I'm going to get back into powerlifting, so there's going to be some serious weightlifting going on. I'm starting my programming. I know I've been saying that for the last 5 or 6 videos, but it's like kind of now or never, so we're getting after it. So expect to see a lot more of that. I'm going to get out of this heat. I'm going to join my wife and my kid at my friend's house, and I'm going to jump in their pool instead of mine. I love you guys. I'll see you on the battlefield.